What's up, y'all? Peace, peace, peace. It's Master Fi, co-founder of HipHopSuccess.tv. Here with fellow co-founder Bambino Brown in the building.
All right. What up, Master Fi?
Roundtable. Here to talk about this new Jay-Z album, 444.
He gave him 20 million without blinking. He gave you 20 minutes on stage. Fuck was he
thinking?
Fuck wrong with everybody.
He gave Kanye 20 mil. Kanye gave him back 20 minutes on stage. What was he thinking?
Man.
So we want to welcome everybody to the Roundtable. It's your boy Bambino. Today's topic, like my man Master Fi said, is Jay-Z's album 444. Quattro. My man came with an album out of the blue, just as we were talking about hip hop and the whole mumble rap thing kind of taking over, and then we were blessed with a great hip hop album. Not saying that Kendrick didn't come with one too, because Kendrick's album was hot as well. I'd say Kendrick, J. Cole, Big Sean, Drake, Jay-Z, of course Nas when he comes, but not many people are coming with these hip hop projects that are hip hop. I mean, Khaled seems like he's more trap than hip hop if you weigh out his album to me. But Jay-Z's album to me, man, personally I feel like he dropped the classic just out the cut.
Okay,
that's my personal opinion.
I feel you. Is it a classic? I mean, I think it's on the ground. I need to listen to it a couple more times. But, I mean, I know people are going to get mad when I say it. But, I mean, I think this is the best album he's probably dropped in the last about 6 years. I mean, maybe more than that. It might even be 10 years. What
was the album before this?
Was it Magna Carta? Holy Grail?
Magna Carta. That was a good album.
It was good. It wasn't this one.
I think we were expecting it. Maybe I like the way that this just came out of nowhere. I like his growth. I like what he's I mean, he's always kicking some game. I've been having an argument with people about Jay-Z and saying, well, he started all this flossing and he started, kind of the content of what these mumble guys are talking about. And I totally disagree, man. If you being a hustler and being somebody that's an entrepreneur, he always touched me in a manner that other rappers didn't, because he talked about business as well as his industry flow. And I'm an MC, but I'm going to give you this game too. And I'm going to teach you about businesses. And every business that he's dropped has been groundbreaking.
Right.
Every business, from the title, he got right with the streaming game. Back in the day, he had the Rockaware. He had, what was the alcohol that they had?
Armadale.
He was blowing up Bellevue. You almost said Bellevue, right? But it was Armadale. That was smart. He said, you know what? I see how many people are drinking Belvedere because of my influence. Let me go ahead and get my own vodka.
We got Coach coming in. Let me add Coach up in here.
CTB.
Yeah.
CTB.
Are we live with the people?
We live with the people.
Yes, we are live.
Yes, indeed.
This is a roundtable that we just popped up, so we can't expect people to just pop up, but they'll go back and they'll find this if they don't catch it live. Jay-Z popped up with 444, so we popping up with a roundtable for the people, because we're about the people.
Yes.
So, Coach, what you think about the album so far? I mean, everybody's still listening to it and everything, but what you think?
I gave it 4 out of 5 mics, man. I like the fact that he's bringing the sample game back to hip hop. Those are one of the core elements, in my opinion, in terms of production. When you look at the essence of hip hop, is taking those break beats, those live drums, different snares, kicks, that sort of thing, with some fly soul samples. In terms of the lyrical content, I definitely like the lyrical content. It's mature in terms of what he's talking about, which is right up our alley, our frequency, business, technology, and just advancing the culture. So I gave it 4 out of 5 mics.
Okay. Shout out to No ID for all those dope samples. He produced the whole album.
Ooh,
That's
that
He produced a whole album.
the whole thing.
no idea.
Wow.
You know, he used to produce all the.
That's why Kanye's salty.
Kanye.
Oh, we're gonna get into Kanye. We're gonna get into Kanye and the bars that Jay-Z had for him right at the top of the album.
I'm only giving you cats half a bar. F y'all. he gave him half a bar. What, about a whole bar, maybe?
He gave him a couple bars, man. I mean,
He gave him a couple.
the lyrics. I have the lyrics right here, so I'll tell y'all in a little bit. But I mean, he really, he laid in on him. But I don't know if there's really, I don't know if this whole thing with him and Kanye is like escalating. I don't know. I read some reports, like I don't know if they're going to go to court for some legal issues that they're having. I think it's not just a music beef. Like I think it's going to go into like a money and legal beef as well. I heard there's something brewing in that. I got to read some more, but I think there's some legal stuff going on between them too that's causing more tension.
Yes.
I'm sure the bars off the album didn't help the situation.
Yeah, it's a $3 million difference that they're having. But like Jay-Z said, I gave him 20 million like it was nothing, and he gave me 20 minutes on stage. That was really a rant out of nowhere. I mean, if I had a problem with you brothers, I wouldn't pop up on the round table and let you hear about it. I would call you.
Real talk.
Because you my bros, or I'll come to your house and we can sit outside by the pool and have a face-to-face. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna catch me on social media talking real man business. You know what I mean?
Real talk.
Absolutely. So
Absolutely.
That's that Kardashian life. You feel me? Everything has to be a reality show. Not discrediting Kanye's talent because he's talented, but when's the last time Kanye had a hot album?
man, that's a couple back. I mean, that Yeezus was garbage. Look, I'm sorry for everybody out there that are on the Yeezus train, thinking he's like the second coming of Christ. I'm sorry, but that Yeezus was garbage. Threw it out my car. I couldn't even get through the whole album. It was terrible. I don't know where he went off the rails with it. What did y'all think of that?
I went to that concert. I surprised my girl, took her to that concert. That's the last album, right? What was it called?
Was it Yeezus or was it another one?
See, that lets us know right there. I can't remember, but I know
I haven't been checking for Kanye since Flashing Lights.
I went to the concert and it was at the Forum, and I was there because I was hoping he was going to do the old cuts. You know what I'm saying? The new stuff, all the kids knew, but it's too much auto-tune, too much Kanye singing, man. He's like, thinks he's a singer or something, like T-Pain or something. I'm like, bro, knock it off. Like, you got bars, kick them. Like, I want to hear you rhyme. I love your production. I don't want to hear you sing with auto-tune.
No.
That's just not what I want to hear. I don't really want to hear anybody sing with auto-tune except Roger from Zap.
Coach, what was the last Kanye album you liked?
The one with Flashing Lights. What album was that?
Was that Graduation?
Was it Graduation?
I think that was Graduation. That was a good album. That was a really good album.
That's the last album I've checked. After that, homie kind of, went another route that is a little bit different. I'm cut from a different cloth, like Bam said. We go by different codes. We ain't talking on camera and running our mouths. I don't know nothing about that type of stuff.
Shout out to Jennifer C. knowing about Zap.
Shout out to the people watching. Shout out to Alvin Tondero, my brother. What's good, boy? Get out here. Shout out to Bodax. Continue listening. Peter Straker. Shout out to B-Dot, Brain Trust, Brandon. Holla at your boy. And all the audience, everybody watching right now, let us know what you guys thought about the album in the comments. Don't forget to call in. You can call in at 725-222-8144. Let us know your comments or opinions on the album, whether you loved it, you hate it, you think it's a classic. Did you throw it out of the car, or you're throwing out the car when it came on, like I did with the Yeezus album? I mean, let us know.
Hold up, though. You can't throw it out the car because his marketing is so groundbreaking. You can barely even get it if you don't have Sprint or if you don't have Tidal. Now, I had a dialogue with somebody about the new platforms for streaming. We talked about Spotify. We talked about iTunes. We talked about all of these new platforms for streaming music. And after thinking about it, I said, you know what? I'm going to order Tidal because I want to hear this new album. It's a free trial period. They wouldn't let you get the album if you didn't order Tidal before the 26th. I'm feeding back on somebody's. Is that me or?
I hear you great.
But I just thought about what Jay-Z said, and I feel like I'd rather support a hip hop teaching rappers how to own their masters, like you talked about with Prince. I'd rather support him than Apple or Spotify. Another Level music is on Spotify, and we haven't seen a dime. So I really don't even like the whole streaming. That's a whole nother topic. I'm really not with the streaming thing, even though it's the future. It just seems like a way to jack artists for their music, and everybody's listening to everything for free. I guess tour sales and merchandise are the new ways to make money within the music business. But Jay-Z's groundbreaking businessman. He jumped on Tidal, Rockaware. He's done so many different business ventures that have us all wowed with the Rock Nation, partnering up with them for concerts, signing other artists to the Rock Nation platform, becoming a manager, a sports agent. If you're a businessman trying to make moves in this economy, you got to admire a brother that came from the projects and is at the top of the totem pole as far as business is concerned in any realm of business. Any businessman, he's talking to Warren Buffett on a daily basis and looking eye to eye with those type of cats, and he's not even 50 years old yet. So shout out to Jigga for being an inspiration to me. I'm sure a lot of y'all out there feel the same way. So many cats are pulling his lines out of his music, man. He has so many quotables on his album that people are making memes of already, man. That's why I give this album a classic piece, because it's classic marketing.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think him and Beyonce really got this whole shock value, drop an album out of nowhere sort of marketing scheme. Because Beyonce did it obviously with her Lemonade album. I mean, she had the album done, she had all the music videos already done, who knows when, and it just dropped it on everybody. Yeah. I remember when she dropped it, everybody was on the internet just chilling, and then all of a sudden on Facebook and Instagram, everybody's like, wait, I see a Beyonce album available. It was just like a myth, kind of like, what's going on? Then it turned into a virus, and all of a sudden everybody realized she dropped an album, and it went like multi-platinum, and probably like 3 days. But they really have that whole marketing scheme down. But again, thank you for everybody tuning in to the Roundtable, Webisode number 4. Make sure you guys call in too. Let us know what you thought about the album. 725-222-8144. Right now, let us know right in the comments. Did you guys like the album? Give it a 1 out of 5. 1 meaning crappy, 5 meaning it's a classic. There's a lot of people talking about it's a classic. If you do, let us know in the comments as well. Do I think it's a classic? It might be. It might be.
So what do you give it, Phil?
I give it a 4 out of 5. I give it a 4 out of 5, just like 4 out of 5 mics, like Coach said, but 4 out of 5.
I give it a 4.5. I give Kendrick a 4. I give Jay-Z 4.5. I like Kendrick's content as well. I think Kendrick, you have to even go a little bit deeper to understand what he's saying, and a lot of these mumble fans don't want to think that hard. But a lot of Kendrick stuff has double entendres, double meanings. You got to really research Kendrick to understand what he's talking about. Like, people thought humble, he's saying, bitch, be humble. Bitch, sit down. He's talking about what the industry said to him. Mm-hmm. And people don't understand how deep Kendrick is, and he's very deep. But personally, Jay-Z swag over the beats, his rhymes as just an MC. He's witty, funny, and he's saying the stuff that's like, man, what did he make you want to rewind? You have to rewind stuff. Don't you miss rap when you have to be like, hold up, rewind that. I gotta hear that again because I think I caught it, but I need to really catch it. You know, with these mumble rappers, you don't understand, but you don't want to rewind and even try to understand because it's this foolishness. You know, a lot of it is melodically cool. I won't say Future doesn't have melodies that are repeatable, but it feels good to have some lyrics that you hear that you want to go back and say, what did he say? You know, and there's a meme I want to read y'all. It said Jay-Z gave black men basically a handbook to life. Accepting responsibility, invest, generate generational wealth, be confident, create a legacy. Raps about black-owned businesses, supporting black people, financial freedom for black folk. And all these cats out here heard was he cheated on Beyonce. That's the only thing they want to talk about.
Wow.
You know, and after hearing Jay-Z, one chick posted on her timeline, all of you brothers' credit should go up 100 points by the end of the year after listening to this album. Stay out the strip club and work on getting your credit together. Work on leaving your kids a legacy, leaving your kids something to build off of. Put down the champagne and start using your brain. And I just feel like I'm glad that this album sparked the third eye of America to start talking about these types of things. I don't want to talk about who he was in the past. I don't want to talk about him being a hypocrite. Every man and every person has growth. From 20 years old to 50 years old, we all can grow and change, and we're not the same person we were 10 years ago.
You got anything to add to that, Coach?
No, I totally agree. I mean, I totally agree. You know, for the people that say, you know, he's a hypocrite, he made his money, if you will, by talking about the drug game and kind of glorifying that. And, you know, being objective, I agree with that point of view. But I'll also agree with the growth and maturation. You know, he's making some bold statements out there, and he's putting himself out there to the powers that shouldn't be. You know what I mean? I mean, in hip hop, Jay-Z's a major player. He's hitting that $1 billion mark, but there's players that are bigger than him. And it sounds like he's speaking to the so-called power, if you will. And I can appreciate that because I'm going to speak truth to power all day, every day.
Amen.
Man, I'll tell you what, though. There's something I think very particular that I notice about albums like this. Jay-Z comes from an era where he comes from the boom bap era, which is something that I love. I love boom bap music. Mm-hmm. There is something that I consistently see when I see artists at the level Jay-Z is in the mainstream level. I'm telling you, when you get them in the studio with a producer like a No ID, and even if it's not No ID, if it's a producer who can produce that soul sample with that boom bap and that live percussion, I'm telling you, it just changes them into like their final form, their best form. You know what I'm saying? Like Jay-Z, like I swear in that studio, he was probably like feeling like it was 95, 97 again. That's what I was hearing coming out of that album. You know what I'm saying? He was comfortable. He was home. It wasn't no club, because
no 808s.
Yeah, exactly. He's like one of probably the most versatile hip hop artists alive.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, he's worked with Timbo. I mean, anybody you can think of, he's worked with. You see what I'm saying? Those crazy beats, those dope, techno, lounge, whatever, he can do it. But when you get him in this element, that is home to him. That's where he can really express himself to the fullest form. And I think everybody's feeling. I mean, I was sweating listening to this album. I was like, man, I feel like I'm in the studio with this brother, man.
You put me up on some lyrics. I knew it came out and I couldn't get it all that night. I was trying to get it, couldn't find it. And then you text us, the three of us, some lyrics in the morning on a verse that he said, which I think we should quote in a second. And by the morning, man, I had work to do. I was supposed to be at work. I had to find the album. So I called my cousin, who's a technology king, on finding the album and was able to download it. because I ordered Tidal, and they won't let you have the album if you order Tidal now. You had to order it before the 26th of June. So the people who did that and got Tidal when they told them to get it through Sprint, they got an exclusive Jay-Z album, which is a great marketing tool. Everybody else will have it in a few weeks, I'm sure, or however that works. But to elaborate on what you said, Phil, you hit the nail in the head, because it gives you the feel of reasonable doubt. You know, the dear God, I wonder, can you save me? The samples of Can I Live? You know, the samples, he's at home over that hip hop element of the premier sound that he always torched in the past. And he did give a hint that he was working on an album. If you guys noticed, Zaytoven, who produces Gucci Mane, took a picture with Jay-Z in the studio with him. Mm-hmm. So I figured either Jay-Z's talking to him about management, or he's in the studio. Either way, I know he said, let me get a couple of those beats.
Right.
I was thinking, what is Jay-Z going to sound like over a Zaytoven beat? He kills everybody's beat, so that's going to be sick. You know, I'm thinking that's going to be tight. But when I hear this new album, I'm thinking he was in such an element with no ID. He said, dude, this is the sound right here.
Yeah.
10 songs, they're all hot. Let me just make that the project. And I read that he woke up at 4:44 in the morning and wrote the song for the title track, 444. And he said after he wrote the song, he looked up what 444 means. And if you look it up, 444 means you're in touch with the universe. You're at your best self at this time in your life. You finally align with your purpose. And every man has trials and tribulations, and at some point you feel like you're lining up with where you're supposed to be and what your life's destiny is. And if that's the case, I'm glad that it was a positive note and not all this Illuminati rumors that we hear and devil worshiping rumors that you hear. And his brother's talking about spirituality. He's talking about family. He's talking about bettering yourself. He's talking about leaving stuff to your kids and all the things that I think all the values that I think we instill in ourselves at hip hop success. You know what I mean?
Right. I also heard that for 444. I heard they said that meant that this album he did it in honor of Barack Obama, like 444, like the 44th president. That's what I heard too. I don't know if that's true, but you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things. You know how they be doing the funny stuff with the numbers and adding it up to certain conclusions that everybody want to relate it to. We getting some comments from our audience. Thanks you guys for tuning in.
Let's run some.
Yeah. Bodex said she hasn't listened to the whole album, but from what she's heard, it's got a strong 4 from her, holding back that 1 point only because she hasn't heard the rest. The story of OJ with the animation, the music video, is dope. Creative, provocative, relevant, and vibe-worthy. What every hip-hop song and video should be, in my opinion. Man, because that video was legit.
Yeah.
They had that whole little Sambo animation. The watermelon. And it's funny how they made the animation. The dude had the lips like him too, the big lips.
Yeah.
He was like, still niggas.
Right.
Hey, I see on Facebook though, some of the elders didn't like that. What do you guys feel about that? You know, Bam, your parents, I don't know, are they above 55, 60 yet?
Yeah.
What do you think? How do you think they would feel about that imagery? Your moms?
As far as the Sambo stuff, like the
just the visual, yeah.
It's hard for me to say. My folks are on the page of, you know, they've seen too many YouTube videos about the Illuminati and, you know, this so-called meeting where they had all the hip-hop executives saying they were going to invest in prisons to put negative music out there. So they kind of look at Jay-Z like he hasn't done enough for the people with the amount of success that he has. So my parents don't really rock with Jay-Z. I'm always trying to press Jay-Z on, like, listen to him.
So with that said, though, it's interesting. If they were to see that visual, that would probably leave a bad taste in their mouth, right?
Possibly. Well, I think he did it because
it's provocative, like Bodex said.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it left a positive note on us because it's, you know, when you're showing where we come from and then where we're headed, and the things that he's saying in the music is saying we're not at that no more. Forget those days. But it's almost like the word nigga. We're gonna take lemons and make it lemonade. I'm going to take that. That used to be us, but look at where I'm at now. I think when we look at that and we equate that to Jay-Z, it's complete opposites. He's so far from Sambo. He's actually hiring a whole staff full of African-American millionaire executives and hiring athletes and turning people into, he said a line in the song, I'm making millionaires all around me. Everyone on my team is a millionaire. Not just me. I'm not just walking around like Floyd Mayweather with all the money in the bag and all my friends around me are driving hoopties and not having any bread. And I'm, no knock on Floyd Mayweather, but I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z's actually empowering people to do better for themselves from what I can see. And that's the inspiration I get from him. So no, I think I need to show them that video and his growth,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because I'm learning, I'm growing. I wasn't always at this point where we're at now talking about all the positive things. There was a time where I did music just to appeal to the masses. And I would say some things that would degrade women or, I just didn't have a conscience like that at the time. That's what was going on in hip hop. And that's what I felt like I was going to say because I didn't have any accountability. I didn't feel like my words were going to change the world. I felt like if Too Short is saying it and listen to his music, I could say a little of that. It's not completely what embodies me, but I'm going to throw a few. Now I'm more accountable for the things that come out of my mouth.
I feel you.
But we all grow.
Shout out to everyone dropping comments in our discussion. Brandon Johnson said, because how I was talking about how we were all talking about how he was in his element.
Right.
He said the difference is pretty simple. He said rapping for a purpose versus rapping for a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? His bread is secure. He secured the bag, like Bam always said. Now I can give y'all the real with no consequences. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna penalize me now. You know what I mean? Right. I can do what I want. So in that freedom, you know what I'm saying, you really rap with a purpose. And it's just, man, he really hit it on the nail, man, with this album. Like really spoke to the times, none of that club stuff. And he still had some real groovy stuff too, man. I mean,
what he said about Prince?
Huh?
What about what he said about Prince?
Or to the estate and the attorneys. That's what he was talking about.
He said, I sat down with Prince and had an eye to eye. He said, do you think this brother he didn't want his masters in the hands of the slave masters. So Prince allowed him to use his music on Tidal. Prince wouldn't allow Apple Music, who now has it. I wonder how. He didn't want to allow certain people to have his music. He's like, he wrote slave on his face because he's like, I'm tired of being a slave to y'all. I'm tired of you taking all my money and my masters and my music and throwing me peanuts. Michael Jackson used to make like 10 cents off of all of his albums. When Jay-Z came in the game with Rockefeller, they were making 80%.
Right.
Giving the label 20%. Master P was giving the distributor 10%. He's like, I was already selling records. You want a piece or you want to watch?
Right.
And guess what, fellas? Hip-hop success, we keep it 100%.
Absolutely.
You did.
100%.
And we can give up 5% though if they're gonna take us to that level. We need
PCs out there, You want to roll up your sleeve and cut a check, but I'm saying we controlling this. Is my point.
Yeah. Shout out to Armani out there giving us a shout out for being live.
Shout out to Armani, all the way from Hong Kong. I seen you all the way overseas.
Word, that's what's up. Shout out to Hong Kong. Yes, sir.
Armani gets that paper.
Shout out to Davian Super Dave. He said financial success is a hot topic for the whole OJ song. And, that's very true. That was pretty much the theme of the song.
Super Dave, funny because Super Dave used to work at Priority Records when we were signed to Priority in 93, 94 as another level. And Jay-Z had just signed distribution through Priority. A lot of people don't know that Reasonable Doubt was distributed through Priority. Remember in his second album, he said, Priority's work wasn't right, so I switched factories. That's when he went to Def Jam after that album. But shout out to Super Dave.
Shout out to Akeem Gibbs. He posted a comment. He said, No ID has a good track record as a producer. He's a very good producer. His production was on point, and that's all that Jay had to do so he could get everything all out of his system. And, obviously, this is the album we have, and you could tell he left it all out on the table. I mean, I don't think he left no stone unturned. But what I want to talk about now is how, man, a lot of people were not feeling the album, but not in a sense where they know the album was good, but they were hating on it for the infidelity that he did and addressed on the album, but that he did towards Beyonce and cheating on her. And I mean, he that track was amazing when he was explaining what happened, talking about how he risked his marriage, how he risked Ivy, and then his new kids, Sir Carter and Rumi. Like, I mean, he really laid it out, like how he was feeling at the moment, the damage it was doing to his soul. Like, it was a very beautiful track. Like, I thought he did a really good job explaining himself and letting the people know what he was going through. But I think it was real personal. Like, it was a lot of stuff. I don't think he should have even shared a lot of it, but a lot of people were still hating on the album because of that. It was crazy to me. What y'all think about that?
Phil, you love your girl?
I love my girl.
Well, never go Eric Benet. Make the most beautiful of the girl walk away. What'd he say? Something. He said, I almost went Eric Benet, let the most beautiful girl in the world get away. Speaking of Halle Berry.
Yeah.
I want to comment on that, just on a personal note, since he opened up about that and it has nothing to do with the music. I do think it's a character flaw. Straight up.
It's a character flaw.
You know what I mean?
How?
Cheating on your wife?
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like it was okay that he did. I was like, well, what do you mean?
No. That's why I said it's a character flaw.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me, and again, this takes away nothing from Jay-Z, the business.
You breaking up really bad, Coach.
How about now? Can you guys hear me?
Same thing.
Kind of choppy.
Choppy. But go ahead.
I'll let you. I'll chime back in when everything's clear. I want to give great content to the people.
Man,
I think I hear what you're saying, though, Coach. Character flaws as far as cheating on your wife. I mean, nobody wants to condone adultery. But it does happen, though. The president of the United States got Gummy in the Oval Office, and wifey forgave him for it. You know what I mean? But things happen, and I feel like Beyonce had to make that choice if she wanted to walk away or she wanted to deal with it. And I respect them for making it work. They got a new set of twins coming on the way. I mean, people have problems all the time. I can respect him for putting it out there that he talked to her sister crazy. He should have just calmed it down and not edged her along. And now he's making right. He doesn't want to see another man playing football with his son. How could he deal with that? I mean, because guys cheat and they don't think about the consequences when a woman's gone. When somebody else is raising your kids and you can't see your kids and your wife doesn't talk to you except to say, when are the checks coming in and when you can pick up your kid on Saturday only,
I think it's an interesting dynamic too, because you know how like people, the masses, the Bayhive, they hold Beyonce to this crazy pedestal standard. And for this man, Jay-Z from the Marcy Projects of Brooklyn,
the
status he is with her on this sort of godly level, somehow still managed to cheat on her. You know what I'm saying? Like
Denzel Washington.
Hey, fellas, can you guys hear me now? Am I a little bit clear?
Choppy.
Yeah, it's still choppy.
Still choppy. Interesting. Okay.
But that dynamic there was really kind of interesting, and kind of Jay-Z, he expressed that, like, he's got the, hottest chick in the game wearing his chain and all that, and then still did it to her. You know what I'm saying? And I really think he expressed himself, but I think it kind of sucks because as much of good of an album as he had, people were still like just turning their whole selves around and not even acknowledging that it's a good album just because the man did some infidelity, which was inexcusable.
Right.
But I mean, it's like, really, the album is still good whether he did it or not. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah. If you separate that, yeah. But I'm talking about in terms, Jay-Z thinks he's that guy, right? On many levels.
Yeah.
So this puts him in a vulnerable spot. Like if I was an MC and I have beef with him, I know how to get at him on a couple of different levels to get him to think about, you really think you the God MC? You really Jehovah? Nah, homie, you a sinner like everybody else. Let's keep it 100.
Well, I mean, the brother.
That's what I'm saying on that.
Yeah, the brother's a sinner, but who isn't? I don't know.
It's just.
I don't know
He's that
anybody
dude,
that's
man.
being free.
He's that. I ain't condoning it. Since we talking about that topic, he fucked himself. Excuse my language, but it don't matter because it's between him and his wife.
And him and his wife.
If she
So
forgave him, that's all that matters.
and my thing is, I think it would have been worse off if he didn't say anything.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
The fact that she put it out there,
He made him confess to the world. I really do. I think that was the ultimatum Friday.
I mean, that's all speculation. We don't know what happened in their home, but
Dude's a private dude, though, dog. Come on, he don't be open.
Right. That's why this is rare for him to open up on all levels on his album in a lot of different ways. I mean, but I think if he didn't say anything, which he didn't have to address it because she blasted him all the way out. But they're still at the games holding hands. They're still having a new set of babies, and clearly they got past it. Immediately they got past it. Even when she was touring the album talking about it, he was there. He probably helped her write it. Who knows? But they got past it. You know, a lot of people in the game and in marriage today, they get married and they're divorced in 6 months or 2 years, or they're fighting through it, through all the adversity. They're still married. They're both successful. They both seem like they're in love with each other. And at the end of the day, love conquers all. That's how I feel. Everybody.
It puts a lot of things in perspective. I mean, whether you're Jay-Z with Beyonce or, you know, you whoever you are in any relationship at any kind of status, like, you know, doing infidelity is absolutely wrong. It's shunned. Shouldn't do it. If you try and run game on somebody, go ahead and break it off and have all the fun you want in the single life, but don't be doing that when you already have a, you know, established relationship with somebody. I mean, that's not love, and, you know, it happens. I get it, but it was the wrong thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not condoning that at all. Absolutely not. My next question for everybody, shout out to everybody in the comments. Give us a call, 725-222-8144. Let us know what you guys thought about the album. Did you guys think it was a classic? Who thinks it was a classic? If you thought it was a classic or you hated it, write it in the comments now if you're just joining us. Let us know what you guys thought about it. Was it his best album? Did it beat Reasonable Doubt? Did it beat The Blueprint? I know some people thought Blueprint was his best album. You know?
I don't think you can compare them, man. That's hard to do, man.
I mean, I know some people, they said it's his best one. People were coming out saying that's his best album. That is his best album he has dropped.
One of the best ones I heard in a while.
The best one in a while, but being a youngster, when that Reasonable Doubt came out, bro, he was on a whole nother level. He was new. The energy he gave to the game, what he was talking about, it's hard to get that euphoric feeling of a new artist coming that strong when you already know he's that strong.
Now, but I'm just saying, like, I can see I mean, it ain't nothing. I don't think there's no time sensitive connection with this. I mean, if I listen to Reasonable Doubt, I can listen to that right now. And I listen to 444 right now if I'm a young kid. And I could, you know, literally listen to both and determine which one was better. You know what I'm saying? Some people, these young cats are listening saying this was better than his very first album.
Hip-hop was at a different place. It hadn't reached its pinnacle yet. It was still, he helped rap get this big. That album was one of the albums that took rap to another level after Pac passed. After, you know, or right along the same time that Pac passed. It might have been right before Pac passed, but it blew up later. Like a lot of people had to go back to Reasonable Doubt. But I was there when it first came out. A buddy, my man said from another level, put me up on Jay-Z, so I was following him. By the time that came out, man, I got to sit down and listen to it. So groundbreaking. What he was talking about had that type of hustler mentality. The way he articulated himself was brand new, man, and that was just a classic of the time. It's
right,
kind
of the time, absolutely.
Yeah. Kids
at face value, you can listen to either and choose which one you like better. Now, in terms of impact, obviously, Reasonable Doubt is obviously in its own category up there.
I guess what I'm saying, Phil, I hear you on that, but heads my age are going to say nothing could touch Reasonable Doubt.
Okay.
Kids may come and say, well, but I like 444 way better. And then a hip-hop head will be like, dude, you don't know hip-hop. So it would just be a debate. I mean, opinions are opinions. You know what I'm saying? It would just be an unwinnable debate because they're both great pieces of work. Before people call in, let's go over that line you sent us, Phil. You sent us some hip-hop Jay-Z quotable that I feel touched made me have to have the album. He said, "You want to know what's more important than throwing away money at the strip club? Credit. You wonder why Jewish people own all the property in America? This how they did it. Financial freedom, my only hope. Fuck living rich and dying broke. I bought some artwork for $1 million. 2 years later, that shit worth $2 million. Few years later, that shit worth $8 million. I can't wait to give this shit to my children. Y'all think it's bougie? I'm like, it's fine. But I'm trying to give you $1 million worth of game for $9.99. I turned that 2 to a 4, that 4 to an 8. I turned my life into a nice first week release date. Y'all out here talking advances, huh? Me and my niggas talking real chances. Y'all Instagram holding money to your ear? There's a disconnect because that ain't real money over here. Yeah.
That was crazy.
That's real man talk right there.
That's off the OJ.
That's off the life of
OJ. Probably the verse of the album for me. I mean, he encompassed a whole lot in there, and that was probably my favorite verse by him on there. But man, it blew me away when I had to read it a couple of times. I had to listen to it with it, music, then away from it. I mean, it was a very loaded verse. I loved it.
The album is loaded, man. It's just kind of going through different. I like the fact that he had his mom on the end of the cut.
Yeah.
What was that? Smile?
Yeah. Was she doing poetry?
Yeah, she did some poetry. I thought that was super cool.
Yeah.
To have moms on the track at the end of Smile. I thought that was pretty cool that he talked about sitting down with Prince eye to eye, mentioning supporting Puffy's vodka brand. Not really beefing with too many people. I didn't feel like he dissed Kanye. I feel like he just spoke on Kanye. Like, you know, I cleared a $20 million deal for Kanye, and Kanye gave me 20 minutes on stage with a rant, basically.
I didn't feel it was a diss. Kanye dissed him.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like he really could have slayed. The old Jay-Z would have slayed him.
Yes, sir. But
Really
that's his little brother, and he got love for him.
But the growth of this project is just great, man. I'm a supporter. I even signed up for Tidal. I feel like this cat is trying to do more for the culture. He's trying to show people that they can own their own music, that they can open their own businesses. I don't believe Apple is doing the same thing. I don't believe Spotify is doing the same thing. So I would rather support my brother than another, because that's just how I'm feeling these days. Every other culture supports their own. We can never feel bad about supporting our own. And I think that's been a problem amongst our culture. Every time we stick together, or try to do something together, it's like, oh, it's a revolution and Black Lives Matter is a hate group. No, we just trying to get out the hole that y'all dug us. Can we get out the hole? Thanks to Hove trying to get us out the hole. Shout out to Kendrick trying to get us out the hole. Shout out to J. Cole trying to get us out the hole. And any other rappers that I'm forgetting. You know, if it's positive, it's hip-hop success. This is the roundtable. We for the people. If you're out there, people call in. 725-222-8144. Call in. Let us know what you think.
Since we on the theme of 444, can we give something special to the fourth caller? If we get 4 callers, the fourth caller gets something?
Yeah. First caller, I got a Hip Hop Success TV hat for you. We just got
for the fourth caller, right? Since we're on the theme of force.
Yeah. Well,
let that fourth caller, who's gonna be number 4, call in right now. Even if you got to call in 4 times. You heard?
Oh, if we answer on the 4th ring, shout out to Akeem Gibbs.
He said, what did he say? What do you think of the lyric, you got to give your wife? What did he mean by that?
You got to give your wife your whole paycheck if you love her. He's asking us, do we agree or disagree with that bar?
Give your wife your whole paycheck?
Yeah, if you love her.
I don't know about all that.
I mean, that's a loaded question.
That's a loaded question because you don't know who's the accountant in the household, you know, or who's bringing in what in the household. You know what I mean? I think everything's 50-50, you know, but I wouldn't say all that either. You know?
I mean, if my wife needs it, I'm gonna give it to her. You know what I'm saying? But you know,
more than a paycheck.
included, but if she really needed it, I would give it to her.
Oh, I mean, that's different. I think we're talking about just on an ongoing, some cats, especially some of the old heads, they got to get a whole paycheck to the wife.
True.
I seen it. I witnessed it with some of the homies. Their fathers worked hard and, in the factories or for Budweiser, and they turned in that paycheck to their check. So, like I said.
Shout out to Akeem Gibbs for that question, too. Shout out.
Great question. I just said I don't know about all that.
Well, my paycheck goes direct deposit straight to my fiance's account. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. So, there you go.
We're going to give them the world.
Kidding,
Sure.
Brandon Johnson always tunes in from the Brain Trust. He said, ownership, the ability to organize. Two things Black people have been denied throughout the history of America. Jay is shining light on the importance of those things right there. We must aspire to get those things that have been withheld from Black people for as long as we can remember. Which is real talk.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Jay-Z, honestly, he's been aware of what's going on. He's dropped gems like that through some of his albums. This isn't like his brain dump of what he's been thinking. I mean, he's been doing it through time. It's not like he's really been silent, but he really concentrated. Like, this is the message.
Hey, not to cut you off. Look at your clock. What time is it right now, fellas?
7:46.
Okay.
We missed 4:44.
But we're on the West Coast right now. I'm looking at the clock. It's 4:46. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Any more comments? Any more comments out there?
Yeah, we got some comments. Davian Super Dave, shout out to Dave. He said the content of 444 seems to be pushing culture forward, just as a whole. The project is really trying to get us in that forward thinking.
I agree.
Bro, it's a breath of fresh air from Future, 21 Savage, Lil Yachty, Black Youngster. Come on, man. I felt like rap. And I put a post up on Facebook where I said, thanks, Jay-Z, for saving the culture. And a lot of people got at me saying, there's so many hip-hop artists besides Jay-Z. But Jay-Z's at the top of the totem pole. So when he drops something, everybody knows. It was a breath of fresh air for hip-hop, for rhymes, dope beats and dope hooks. Something that somebody thought about when they wrote it. And it was just a breath of fresh air, man. And I felt like it kind of saved hip-hop to me. As much as I love Kendrick's album, I felt like Jay-Z, being the icon that he is, needed to step back in and recharge the game. Because I'm sure cats, other cats, even down to a cat like Jadakiss, is inspired. Mano posted something that Coach had posted that was just saying it's inspiring to hear this type of content again, man. It just recharges hip hop again. And
morals, values, and principles. MVP, morals, values, and principles.
Yeah.
That's basically what Mano was talking about. And I agree if you come from them codes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, breath of fresh air, man.
I mean, for anyone that says, like, I shut down anybody that says hip hop is dead. That phrase just kills me. Hip hop is not dead. It's never going to die. It's infused in human culture now. You're not getting rid of it. You know what I'm saying? So when people say hip hop is dead, I shut that shit down every time I hear it. You know what I'm saying? Now, for people to negate and say, oh, Jay-Z's not, a breath of fresh air. No, like Bam hit it on the nail. He's at the top, though. You know what I'm saying? And for him to drop an album, he doesn't have to drop an album like this, but he did. You know what I'm saying? And that's refreshing to see. It's refreshing. And when Future drops an album, it's not refreshing. It's just more noise. You know what I'm saying? But when Jay-Z dropped his album, I'm listening to radio stations, the DJs, the hosts of the radio stations are like, oh man, we playing the whole Jay-Z album, blah. It's like a celebration. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Completely different reaction. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, nobody has that impact like Jay-Z, man. I think, Phil, you're right in saying that hip hop is never going to die, because we'll always go to those concerts until we check out of this earth. We'll go back and want to hear some old hip hop, or go to a concert to see Jay-Z or see Fabulous or whomever it may be. Even Prodigy is now a legend. Too bad he had to pass to become a legend. I think the thing is, mainstream, when you turn, I miss hip hop being the top of mainstream and pop culture. When I turn on the radio and I turn on iTunes radio or Spotify and I hear 21 Savage, then I hear Black Youngster, then I hear Lil Yachty. I may hear 10 of those songs in a row on Hot New Hip Hop. When you click on the icon, Hot New Hip Hop, they play 10 trap artist songs in a row. To me, that says you're teaching the kids this is hip hop. So when they hear real hip hop, they say that ain't hip hop. Black Youngster doing his ABC rap is hip hop.
But that doesn't mean hip hop's dead, though.
It doesn't. But in a sense, to real hip hop culture, we kind of feel like that because you're playing this bullshit telling me it's hip hop.
Yeah, but you got to see that you got to see through that if you're a hip hop head. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to hear hip hop,
can it be watered down? Can hip hop be watered down?
Yeah, it's just being watered down. That's all.
I can't listen to that stuff, honestly, bro. I mean, it makes me feel old sometimes because I love new rap, and if a new young, it's a few young. I'm trying to think of somebody. Mason the General.
He our age. Yeah, you know.
I mean, he's old.
I'm gonna tell you who's dope. Check this guy. What's his name? Vince. The dude from Long Beach. Help me out.
Oh, Vince Staples.
Vince Staples. I like that young cat.
Yeah, Vince Staples is dope. So that's what I was trying to say. Certain cats, when I hear them, they got the elements. Even Dave East. You know, Dave
East is dope. I like Dave East.
Yeah. It's
not co-signed him. He said this guy's coming up. He's up next. Like, the guy's legit.
Royce the 5'9", Brandon Johnson spoke about. But even my man, what's the dude on who got into it with the Migos?
Joe Budden.
Joe Budden got rhymes too.
But I mean, all those guys are good. There's a ton of young artists. I probably can't even name them all. Like, there are a lot of people out there. That Chicago wave is killing it. They got a new young West Coast wave coming. Like, there's plenty of talent out there. I'm a firm believer hip hop is alive and well. I wish they would play more of that essence that we like on the mainstream more. You know, it sucks that a Jay-Z's got to cut and slice through everything, you know, with his status just to get some airplay. Kendrick does it. He's doing a great job. J. Cole's doing a great job. Like, you know, all the big wigs, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to sit here and act like there ain't no young artists really doing it big either. It's just a shame, like a website like what? You said Hip Hop DX or Hip Hop what? Hip Hop. What'd you say? Which website you was talking about?
You said Hot Hip Hop or something like that.
Hot New Hip Hop. Hot New Hip Hop.
No. I'm saying if you go to iTunes and you want to listen to iTunes Radio and you go to hip hop or you go to New Hip Hop, the new hip hop they're playing is all trap.
That's the machine, though. That's the marketing machine,
so,
man.
Right, you're absolutely right. But my point was the kids who are 12 and 13 are thinking, this is what hip hop is. So then when they hear Jay-Z, they're like, I gotta think too much. And I miss having hip hop that sparks the brain, that sparks the noodle.
I feel it. I mean, I love what the young guys are doing. I love, Brandon said Vic Mensa. Vic Mensa, the whole Save Money Collective out of Chicago. With Cammy and all them. Like, I mean, they all doing it big. Joey Perp. I mean.
Bro, I even like the dude who won all the awards, Chance the Rapper. I didn't like I don't think his album was like the #1 album, but when I hear him rap, he can rap. I like what he's doing. I like what he's personally doing in the community.
Yeah.
And you know, he can do the trap stuff, but he can also flow. So all respect. But 444 is groundbreaking, man. We running out of time here. Let's get our last little thoughts in. Any more comments? Any more callers? Anybody want one of these Hip Hop Success black hats?
Yeah, first caller to call in, you'll get a free Hip Hop Success snapback. Call in now, 725-222-8144. Let us know your thoughts and opinions on the 444 album by Jay-Z. I want to thank everyone that came out today through the comments. Shout out to everybody over there, Brandon, Molly. Shout out to Cody Floyd, Air Force. You know what it is, Akeem Gibbs. Rob Rodriguez, all y'all. Jennifer C. Tate, thank you for coming through. Everybody I haven't mentioned. Good
I
luck.
got a quick Jay-Z story, guys, personally. It is in my book. 1998, Hard Knock Life Tour. This is when I was putting out a compilation of other artists that I have produced. It was called Gridiron Music Group. We were in Westwood. I can't think of the name of the club, but, you know, back then I was 18, 19, whatever the case may be. So I was hand-to-hand combat in the streets out the trunk. And I caught Jay-Z by himself, but he had a bodyguard, but the bodyguard was trailing him maybe about 10 feet. So I catch Jay. I'll never forget, he had a jean outfit with the Air Force Ones on. I run up on Jay, and guess what he did? He opened up his coat, and he had a holster with a pistol. This is the guy's honest truth, right? And I'm like, nah, Jay. I hand him my CD. I'm like, I'm trying to get the CD off, man. Support this movement. It's a dub. If you like it, go ahead and give me a call. The number's on the back. Of course, I'm looking to get signed. I'm the hottest thing out of LA. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. He didn't talk at all. He grabbed my CD. He looked at it with a, you know how he be having them strange looking faces? He looked at it like this. He looked at me, and he went in his pocket and handed me a dub. And I was like, that's what's up, Jigga. Real story. So shout out to Jay-Z. If you ever seen this interview, if you ever read my book, it's in my book. It's Your Success, Own It. That's the real deal, and I appreciate that. I'll never forget that.
Support the independent cause, baby.
Please support. Please support. Again, last call. Call in 725-222-8144 for a free hiphopsuccess.tv snapback.
And if you're a real hip-hop fan, and you know about this right here, too. You know what I'm saying? If you're from LA, you know these were all over the city. West Side.
I'm going to tell you this, though, real quick. I don't even rap, right? but I still got some creativity. I'm going to drop a freestyle over one of Jay-Z's 444s tonight. So, my partners, I want y'all to check in and watch Coach Tony Brace do this thing. I'm going to drop that thing sometime tonight. After I get out of here, I'm going to go with the family, swim and all that, and then I'm going to come in later on, and I'm going to drop something.
Don't drop it till 4:44 in the morning, bro.
I might drop it at 12:44 a.m. midnight tonight.
All right, there you go. Just have a 44 in there, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're gonna shut it down, guys. I want to thank everybody for coming out. Master Five. You can find me on all social media at MASTA_PHI. Be sure to follow us on all social media at hiphopsuccess.tv. Bam, what do you go ahead and let them know where they can find you at?
At Bambino's World on IG, at Bambino's World 62 on Twitter. And if you got my cell phone, you can hit me on the hitter. But I'm right here, man. RoundTable, hiphopsuccess.tv, baby. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. We're just trying to get the positive messages out there. We're trying to have fun with it, too, and just enjoy this hip-hop culture. We don't do this for the money. We do this for the culture. This show is for you, all the fans out there, to give your opinions on these topics. We don't always want to have the topics that cause a whole lot of static, but we're still going to bring them to you and talk about things that people are scared to talk about. This was kind of a pop-up shop because Jay-Z popped up with this hot album. We decided to pop up with a roundtable. So this was just a fun production that we put together kind of last minute just to give more back to the culture. So please go listen to 444. And download it, and then come back to our live stream and leave some comments and continue the dialogue. Please pass this content around. Support Hip Hop Success TV by joining in and sharing our content and supporting our merchandise if you get around to it. And we want to thank everybody for joining in. My man, Coach Tony Brace, Master 5. We are Hip Hop Success TV, and this is the Round Table, baby. We out of here.
We out of here. Peace.
Peace.